Hello guys, so in this video we're going to talk about how you can actually succeed as a software developer. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. So as a software developer, you don't actually only need the coding skills to actually succeed as a software developer or as a programmer, right? So you have other skills which are actually necessary for you to actually succeed as a developer, right? So of course you need to be good at solving all these leak code challenges so you can be able to showcase the skills that you have as a programmer, that you're actually good at your skills, but you have other skills which are actually necessary that will get you to the door of the job, right? Even myself, when I started learning how to code, I focused all my efforts on actually being good at coding, right? So I learned CSS, I learned HTML, then I learned JavaScript, and I learned all these technologies that are out there, but I didn't actually learn the skills that I'm going to talk about, which are actually necessary to help you get your foot in the door to get a job, right? So I focused all my efforts in actually being good at coding, then I neglected those skills because I didn't know that they actually that much necessary to get me where I want to be, right? So the first skill that you actually need to make sure that you actually have is coding, right? You are a programmer, you need a job that is related to programming or coding, then you actually need to be good at coding, right? So you need to make sure that you solve all those leak code challenges or go to those other platforms where you can actually solve programming challenges, right? So you can be good at coding or so you can get many jobs, because those big companies like Google, like Facebook, like they need people who are actually good at problem solving, right? So if you are good at solving those problems that are only code, you're going to be good at actually solving those problems that are going to give you when you want to apply to jobs at those big companies, right? So you need to make sure that you actually solve those problems and be good at solving those problems, right? But if you actually going to apply to startups, so startups, they don't necessarily like make you solve those problems. Other startups, they do that, but many other startups, like they only want to see that you're going to be fit for the role. They want to see that you're actually going to do the job right. So they're going to give you tasks that are related to the job. So, for example, if you are applying for a front-end role, they're going to give you a task to actually solve a bug on Angular or on a function inside Angular or something related to the front end. Then they're going to judge you based on that. They're not necessarily going to give you this math tests or tests that are that complex like the leak code challenges. So they're only going to assess you based on your skills that are necessary for the role, right? So that's what many startups do. They don't actually give you those leak code challenges because they just want you to make sure that you know what to do and know what to expect at the company or what you do at the company. That's why they'll actually give you like a task that is related to their website or whatever platform, whatever software they're working on. They give you a task that is related to a function inside their software so they can actually see that you're going to be good at this role. But of course, if you solve those leak code challenges, you're going to have a better chance and better opportunities that are out there. You have a better chance of actually working with those big companies, right? So that's why I'm encouraging you guys to actually solve those problems. But of course, if you just want to get started and want to get your foot in the door, just make sure you master those required skills like the front-end skills. If you want to be a front-end developer, just make sure that you focus on mastering your front-end skills and be good at them. Not necessarily master them, but be good enough to actually land a job, right? So yeah, you need to make sure that you have good coding skills. That's the first thing. Then the second thing, which is the most important one, is to make sure that you actually have good communication skills. And you probably heard this before, but like any role in the world, you're going to need communication skills because you need to communicate with your teammates at the company. So you need to make sure that you have good communication skills, and also communication skills will be assessed actually throughout the interview process. So they actually see if you are a good communicator or not, and see if you'll be a good fit for the company through how you communicate or through how you actually portray yourself throughout the interview process, right? So make sure that you have good communication skills. Just socialize with other developers and make sure that you better your communication skills, because that's what you'll be assessed on as you're going through the interview process. So just make sure that you're good in communicating, because like I said, as you get a job, you're going to communicate with other developers at the company. For example, if you face a problem, you need to actually tell other developers that you're facing a problem, and you need to actually be able to articulate that problem in a way that's understandable. So you need to make sure that you know how to communicate with other developers back to back and actually see if they can actually help you. So you need to make sure that you know how to communicate. So just make sure that you integrate improving your communication skills as you're learning coding, so you don't have that long process where you actually need to first go back and try to improve your communication skills when you want to get a job, right? And the next thing that I think is also necessary for you to actually be successful as a software developer is being able to market yourself or to sell yourself, right? So in my case, I was actually lucky that I actually worked in sales and did marketing, so I was able to actually know how to market myself. But at the first step, I didn't actually focus on marketing myself as I was actually putting out the CVs. I just focused on making that CV, then I put it out and see how it goes. Then at a later stage, that's when I actually realized that the CV is the one that's letting me down, so I needed to go down to the drawing board and make sure that I actually make my CV look as attractive as possible and make sure that I know how to voice out like the skills that I have, and make sure that when the recruiter or whatever person is going through my CV, like they don't just see my CV and they get overwhelmed and put it away. So I needed to make sure that my CV was really attractive, right? So just make sure you learn a bit about how you can actually market yourself or sell yourself. So by marketing yourself, it's just like putting yourself out there, like applying to those many jobs, like those many roles that are out there that are related to whatever role you want to get. So just know how to market yourself. Like make sure that your CV looks good as possible. Make sure that you don't like write a lot of things on your CV which can be overwhelming. Make sure your CV is as simple as possible, and make sure that you portray the skills that you have in an attractive manner. Like make sure that they are easy to read, like they can see that these are the skills that you have, so that they can have an easier process of going through your CV. So yeah, I think those are the skills that are actually necessary for you to actually become successful as a software developer or in any role that you want to get as a developer, right? So only knowing coding won't get you ahead of other people, because you can be a better developer, like be an excellent coder, but of course if you're a bad communicator, like you'll face problems at the job. Like they'll complain about you because you're not communicating with them well. You'll be facing problems, you won't know how to actually communicate those problems with other teammates, so they'll notice that instantly and they'll actually not like working with you. So you need to make sure that you have good communication skills, and of course the first thing that will get you through the door of actually getting a job is actually the CV. So you need to make sure your CV looks good as possible and is very attractive. So you need to make sure that you know how to market yourself, to get yourself out there, and know how to actually sell yourself by saying the right things and making sure that your CV is as simple as possible. It's not overwhelming. It has all the things that are necessary on the CV, so that the person who's going through your CV can have an easier process of going through your CV, right? So those are the skills that are necessary for you to become a successful software developer. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope this video is going to help a lot of people who are actually going through the process of trying to get a job, or who are still learning how to code, so they can have these skills all in one, so they can learn them as they go and try to improve them as they go, so that when they get to that stage of actually applying to the job, they can get the job easier or see progress as they actually applying to jobs. So that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't done this yet, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I release new content. And also don't forget to like the video, guys. Alright, that's gonna do it. Have an awesome day. Bye.